video, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing yet another book haul. I need to go on a ban. Like, I really need to go on a book buying ban until at least the end of January, because I'm spending too much money on books. And it's definitely a problem. Like, I see everybody, I don't know what's going on. It's like everybody I follow on TikTok is buying a whole bunch of books, and now got to be put on a ban. I know Book Outlet just had a massive book sale, which might still be going on. And then Black Friday is coming up, so I'm sure Amazon is going to have some kind of sales. I don't know if Barnes & Noble or any other bookstores, Books A Million, are going to have sales as well. But I don't know if I'm going to be partaking because I keep buying books, whether it's like physical books, books on my Kindle. I just keep buying books. So today I'm going to show y'all some books that I've bought between my last book haul and now. And it does not include any books that y'all have seen in vlogs. So if you watch my vlogs and you've seen the books I've bought, then those books are not going to be in here. These are like books that I haven't shown y'all that I've bought just because I just buy books. That's all I buy now. I don't buy clothes. I don't buy shoes. I buy books. So we're going to get into the books, but first I'm going to show y'all what's on my Kindle. I usually don't do like what I bought on my Kindle as a part of my book haul, but I'm going to show y'all because I got a couple of books that I want to talk about. So the first book that I have that I bought on my Kindle is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. This book is about, I believe you say her name, Emmanuel. It's not spelled like how you would typically spell the name. And she lives in this puritanical society, and like basically her existence is blasphemous because her mother had her with an outsider who was a different race. And she basically stumbles into the woods surrounding her town where the spirit of these witches who were killed find her, and they give her her mother's journal. Her mother's passed away at this point, and she learns a lot from reading this journal and learns like that the town is not all as good and holy as, you know, she thinks they are. She just learns a lot. You'll see later, but this is not the first Alexis Henderson, well, this is not the only Alexis Henderson book that I have in this book haul. We just finished reading An Academy for Liars for book club, and that book was so good. I already had the other book I'm going to talk about later, but I went out onto Kindle store and immediately bought this one. I'm like, I have to read all of her books. I don't know if these are the only three. I have to look, but Academy for Liars was so good. I highly recommend it. I will talk to y'all about it in depth next week during my wrap up. But that book was great. The ending was just crazy and unexpected. Like, just, oh my gosh. It's just the Academy for Liars. You know there's going to be some nonsense going on in that book. But anyway, so this book, witches in the back in the era where they were burning witches and killing people for possibly being witches because they were good at math. And I had to get this. Alexis Henderson is like one of my new auto buys, so definitely bought this. Next book on my Kindle is only two, so this is the last one, is The Book of Sin by H.M. Wolfe. This is about Hyacinth, who I believe is an orphan, and she's trying to decide if she's going to stay where she is or if she's going to try to run away and have her own life and freedom. And then she finds out that she has magic within her and that there is a god among fae. I believe this is a fae book, which I was immediately apprehensive. Y'all know how I feel about books with fae, but I'm trying to, like, I can't just hold everything to the same standard as the Focal Air series, because that, like I said, is my first introduction to fae, and it just was like not great. So I'm trying to give more fae books a chance to win me over. So we will see. I don't know how heavily fae this book is, but I keep seeing it in all the stores, and the cover is so pretty. And I'm just interested to see like what happens, where this goes, who is Hyacinth, like where did her magic come from? If she's an orphan, is it inherited through family? And it's just, when someone's an orphan, there tends to be a parent from somewhere that, you know, if it's a fantasy that they got their magic from and they find them. So I'm just curious. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, this is the other book that I bought. Next is the other Alexis Henderson book. I was talking about House of Hunger. This book, first of all, let's give it up for the cover. Look how beautiful this girl is on the cover. She's gorgeous. Okay. So, I haven't read the summary yet. I'm going to read a little bit of it right now. Wanted, blood made of exceptional taste, must have a keen proclivity for life's finer pleasures. Girls of weak will need not apply. Is it vampires? Okay, let me see. Marion Shaw has been raised in the slums where want and deprivation are all she knows. Though she knows little about the far north where wealthy nobles live in luxury and drink the blood of those in their service, Marion applies to the position of blood maid. She sees in the newspaper, and she finds herself to be the newest blood maid at the notorious House of Hunger in the world of debauchery. And at the center of it all is Countess Lisavette. I think that's how you say that. Countess provides over this hedonistic court, is loved and feared in equal measure, takes a special interest in Marion. She's magnetic, and Marion is eager to please. And when she discovers the ancient walls of House of Hunger hide even older secrets, she's thrust into a vicious game of cat and mouse. Interesting. Yeah, it just sounds good. At first I thought it was about vampires. A blood maid just sounds like somebody who would like willingly give themselves up to have their blood taken by a vampire. So I'm wondering why do they drink blood if they're not vampires? I guess I'll learn. Maybe they are. It doesn't say that they're vampires, but then it doesn't not say that they're y'all know what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, first of all, this book has been on my list for a while just because the cover and the name of the title, House of Hunger, sounded interesting. But I'm even more eager to read this now, like I said, because we just finished an Academy for Liars, it just was such a fresh take on magic. It's not even called magic. It's called persuasion. I'm talking to y'all too much about this book when I'm going to talk about it in my wrap-up next week. If y'all want to hear about the book, come back for the wrap-up next week, and I will talk to y'all about the wrap-up then. But yes, House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. Very excited to read. Next book I have is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. If you are on TikTok, on BookTok, then hopefully you are familiar with Brit and her books. And she's hilarious. I highly recommend you follow her TikTok. She's very, very funny. But one of her TikToks, she was talking about Frida McFadden. I was like, oh, what kind of books do Frida McFadden write? And it turns out she writes like thrillers, crime thrillers, those kinds of things. And I've been trying to find a book to read with my mom. And my mom likes to read like James Patterson books, crime thrillers with cops involved and all that kind of stuff. So I was trying to find something for us to read. I was like, well, she writes these kind of crime thriller books. Let me go pick one up and, see if I like it. And then if I do, I'll grab one of her other books for me and my mom to read. So the one that was suggested to me was The Boyfriend. And I haven't read this summary either. So let's read it. Sydney Shaw. First of all, Sydney Shaw. What was the name of the main character in Scream? Was her name not Sydney Shaw? Was it Sydney Shaw? I know it was Sydney, but was her last name Shaw? I'm going to have to look that up. Sydney Shaw, like every other single woman in New York, has terrible luck with dating. But she finally hits the jackpot. Her new boyfriend is utterly perfect, charming, handsome, is a doctor at a local hospital. She's swept off her feet. Then the brutal murder of a young woman the latest in a string of deaths across the coast confounds police. There are police involved, so that's good to know. The primary suspect, a mysterious man who dates his victims before he kills them. Sydney should feel safe. After all, she's dating the man of her dreams, but she can't shake her own suspicions that the perfect man may not be as he seems, because someone is watching her every move, and if she doesn't get the truth, she'll be the... So, are we saying that the boyfriend is possibly the killer? Is that what this is saying? And she's suspicious. Then why is she suspicious? Like, what is he doing that makes her so suspicious? I'm curious. Is he the killer? I want to know now. Is it? Okay. Well, this sounds great. There are cops involved and all of that. So this might be, not this particular book, but Frida might be the perfect author for me to find and pick one of her books for me and my mom to read. So if you are, a fan of Frida McFadden's books and you're watching, first of all, hi, welcome. Second of all, which one of these her other books would you recommend? I know The Housemaid is a big one. It's like a whole bunch of different, like Housemaid's Wedding, Housemaid's Boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. And then back here, I see The Coworker, The Teacher, The Inmate. So if you read her books, let me know which one of these you would recommend for me to read with my mother. The next book is Real by Kennedy Ryan. Hey, Kennedy Ryan girl. Love you. Yeah, I've been on a Kennedy Ryan kick recently. As y'all know, I read all of the Hoop series. Then I read the Grip series after that. So I've just been on the Kennedy Ryan like high lately because her books are so good. She's so good at writing contemporary romance books that have characters with so much like depth to them. It's insane. But this is a re-release. I think Real has been out, but they re-released it with this brand new cover, which is just beautiful and shiny and pretty and colorful. And oh my god, her necklace, look at her necklace. It says a novel. That's cute. Okay, so also it says that this contains a bonus, all new bonus epilogue that I'm assuming was not in the original release. So once again, I haven't read the summary, so let's read it. Neva Saint is ready for the spotlight after months as an understudy. This is her night to shine. Ooh, is she in the theater? Yes. She never imagined he would watch in the audience. Cannon Holt, famous film director, fascinating, talented, fine. Before she can catch her breath, everything is changing. She goes from backstage Broadway to center stage Hollywood. From being unknown to having her name on everyone's lips when Cannon casts her in a star-studded Harlem Renaissance biopic. But forbidden attraction, scandal, and circumstances beyond Neva's control soon put her dreams in jeopardy. Could this one shot, the role of a lifetime, the love of a lifetime, cost her everything? Ooh, okay. I've recently, in the last like maybe 2 years, gotten really into like Broadway and musical theater. Like I was familiar with like, you know, the plays and musicals that everybody knows, like Phantom and Cats and Wicked and Legally Blonde, Hamilton. But I started to like, I live on YouTube and I'm always going down a rabbit hole, and so I learned about Patti LuPone and Evita and just and Anything Goes and all kinds. So I've been obsessed with Broadway for like the last couple of years. So this is going to be really cool to read. I don't know how much Broadway is going to be in it because it seems like she just goes from Broadway right to Hollywood. But this sounds so interesting. Like I said, I love Kennedy Ryan. Anything that she has written that I've read so far, I have no complaints about anything. All of her books have been 5-star reads for me, with the exception of one, which was like a 4.5, so it was still pretty good. But yeah, when I saw this was being re-released, and I've been wanting to read this. I don't know if this is a series, but I've been wanting to read this book. I immediately bought it as soon as I saw it. I believe I got this in Target. So yeah, more Kennedy Ryan. All right, y'all. Now we on to the hardcover books, the best kind of books. First is A Study in Drowning. First of all, when I first saw this book, I thought it was called A Study Drowning because I didn't see the word in, because it's inside of this D right here. But anyway, part of the reason why I got this is because look at that. Look at that. Look at how pretty. You know what? I'm going to open this and see what the cover looks like, if it looks like. Look at how pretty this book is. Look at how pretty this book is. Oh my goodness. This is a beautiful book. Are these peacock feathers? This is such a pretty book. And I don't know if, I'm assuming that all of them are look like this, all the books that were released, at least for the time being, and then they'll put out regular ones with like regular edges. But this is A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. Ava Reed also wrote Lady Macbeth, which I just bought a couple months ago, or last month, whenever that was. I haven't read it yet, but so anyway, on the back it says, but if fairies and monsters were real, so were the women who defeated them. And let's see, let's go through the summary real quick. Effie always believed in fairy tales. Let's see, her only solace as her first term in college, she's having a hard time. She's been reading Angharad, an epic from, oh gosh, these words are gonna kill me, Lyrian national hero and author Emrys Mirrodin. Good grief. She goes to the late author's estate, intent on finding a purpose in her own story, but stumbles upon Preston, whatever, a scholar from literature college. He's come there to determine or prove that Effie's favorite author is a fraud. Let's see what else we got going on. Interesting. Part historical fantasy, part rivals to lovers romance, and part gothic mystery, this feminist fairy tale has captivated readers with its haunting, dreamlike atmosphere. That is a beautiful little summary. Historical fantasy, I don't think I have, well, I'm sure I have, but I don't think I read much historical fantasy. That actually sounds like something that would be really cool, though. Like to take some kind of historical event or something like that and flip it on its head in fantasy. That would be cool. If there are other fantasy historical fantasy books out there, please let me know. I would love to partake in them. But yeah, this one, it seems really, really cool. The cover is really pretty. Typewriter here and all kinds of stuff going on. It seems like a lot going on in this book. I kind of don't want to read it because I don't want to mess up the the edges, but I mean, this is the only copy I have, so eventually I'll read it. Okay, the next book is The Maid and the Crocodile by Jordan Ifueko. Please forgive me if I mispronounced that. I believe this is about this girl, Small Sade, I believe is her name, and she is a maid, but then she accidentally binds herself to what is known as the crocodile, and which is rumored to eat young girls. But then she says, "Ha ha ha, crocodile! I am a curse eater." And then she decides to just go with that, and things unfold, and that's all I read of the summary. I didn't finish reading it because I was like, I'm not going to read all of this summary. I don't want to ruin too much of this book for myself. But this is the same author that wrote the Ray Bearer series, which I also have not read yet. But anything by a black author, I'm gonna read for sure. And first of all, can we give it up for her author photo? Look how beautiful. And then the cover is really, really pretty. I'm a sucker for a pretty cover. I couldn't help it. Even if I don't know if I like the author's writing or not. It also looks like the main character has vitiligo, which is cool. Representation matters. And it's right here on the cover. It's so pretty too. The way hers is like spread out is beautiful. But yeah, The Maid and the Crocodile. I told y'all what I know about it. That's all I know. I'll let y'all know more when I read it. Next book is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Y'all know Tia Williams is my girl now. This is my new bestie. I read her other two books in the last 2 months. One in September, which was The Perfect Find. And then last month I read 7 Days in June. Or this month I read 7 Days in June. I'll talk to y'all about it. But this, was that this month that I read 7 Days in June? Maybe I read The Perfect Find in October. And then I read this 7 Days in June this month. I got my months all kind of mixed up. But yeah, definitely this was next on the list. This was already on my list for the end of the year. So I saw it in the store. I was like, I'll just go ahead and get a physical copy instead of reading it on my Kindle. That way I have it. And I plan on getting physical copies of her other books just because I'm one of those nutcases that even if I read it on my Kindle, I still want a physical copy of it even though I've read it. So I'm going to get those two. But yeah, oh my gosh, there's something sticky and disgusting on here. Oh no. I had to clean that off. But from what I hear, from what everybody tells me about this book, it is amazing. I need to read it. I'm going to love it. It's kind of fantastical, fantasy-ish, which is like, it's like live within its warm and magical world. Magic? Girl, you writing a fantasy for me now? Like, what's going on? Her writing a fantasy is gonna it's gonna slap. It's gonna be so great. And the cover, all the covers of her books are so different and so beautiful. This one is just, I like the colors, but it's Tia Williams. She's an auto buy. So yes, I will be reading this next month. So stay tuned. Also, I wanted to mention that a couple of these books just came out. I don't think any of the ones I've shown y'all so far just came out. But I feed her to the beast. I Am the Dark Who Answers When You Call by Jameson Shea just came out on the 12th. So it came out last Tuesday. And this is the sequel to I Feed Her to the Beast, and the Beast is Me, which we read in book club for October, which I loved. It was so different, so good. I love ballet. This surrounds ballet. Lawrence, she's the only black girl in her company, I believe, and she goes through it, and she turns to this power to like give her power to like win over people in the ballet, and then a whole bunch of crazy stuff starts happening after she gets this power. But this is the sequel to that, so we're gonna see what happens. I don't want to give away the ending of the first one in case you plan on reading it, but we want to see what happens with her and her new friends, and what's going to happen with I want to call it Archeon or Archeon, which is the entity that gave her the power, which we don't know much about at all. Question marks all over the place about what exactly is this entity, what is this thing that's given her this power. Like, that was the one question I had the whole time. What is this? Like, and what is it? Where can I find you to give me power? But yeah, so I didn't read the summary for this. Usually if it's a sequel to a book that I've read, I'm not going to read the summary because I like to go into sequels blind, especially knowing how the original one ended. I want to know, hey, what's going on? But you know what? Sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you should read the summary, because if I would have read the summary for a certain other book that came out earlier this year, I would have known before I went in, oh, this is going to have nothing to do with the rest of the story. And if y'all have been here for a while, you know exactly what book I'm talking about. I don't even need to say it. And the last book I have is The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary Pearson. I have been stalking this book since I first laid eyes on it in the Kindle store. And when it was like still on pre-order, this was like months ago. And I was like, look at this cover. I was like, this cover is so interesting and beautiful, and the font is beautiful. It's just a very, very pretty cover. And then I picked up the book, and I'm just like, yeah, I picked it up because it's pretty. And guess what what it's about? Fae. It's about fae. Again, more fae. Something in the universe is telling me, hey, we got to get you over this Cruel Prince hurdle. Here's more fae books. Here's another one. Here's two. So let's see. Look, Dangerous Fae, Dark Secrets, Addictive Romance. We'll see. After losing both of their parents, Bristol Keats and her sister struggle to stay afloat in their small, quiet town. She starts to receive letters from an aunt she's never heard of who promises to help. She reluctantly agrees to meet and discovers that everything she thought she knew about her family is a lie, and her father might even be alive, not killed but kidnapped by terrifying creatures and taken to a whole other realm, the one he is from. Desperate to save her father and find the truth, Bristol journeys to the land of gods and fae and monsters. Pulled into a dangerous world of magic and intrigue, she makes a deadly bargain with a fae leader, Tygon, whatever. But what she doesn't know is that he's the one who drove her parents to live a life on the run, and he is just as determined as she is to find her father dead or alive. Okay, so we got dangerous plotting fae, but of course, when are fae not plotting to do crazy crap? Yeah, like I said, the main reason I bought this because this cover just does not portray anything at all about fae or anything. It's very deceiving. So this is one reason why I need to just start reading summaries. But like I said, maybe one of these fae books that I have, either this or what's the other one I have? A Study in Drowning is another one, or Lore of the Wilds. Maybe one of those will turn me back on the fae. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not going to get my hopes up that my mind will be changed. Okay, so that is my little book haul for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It will be the last one for a while because, like I said, I'm not buying any more books until the end of January, and that's only because that's when Onyx Storm comes out. So that'll be the only book that I'll be buying in January. I have so many things here that I need to read. I still have books in stores that I haven't read that my mother just pointed out without being asked. I didn't ask her, but she's like, you got books in stores you haven't even read. You need to stop. So I'm probably gonna put myself on a little ban for right now. I know Black Friday is coming up, so it might be after Black Friday. But thank you guys so much for watching. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so if you celebrate, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a great holiday. If you're spending it with your family, I hope you enjoy that time with your family. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.